So as most of you guys have probably seen by now, we recently just found out that Adem Yze has re-signed for 2 years. Again, when I was watching the video, I was so excited seeing that they decided to, re-sign Yze for 2 years. Some of you guys may have even been thinking I've been blushing because my face is all red, but that's not true. I just got brutally touched without consent by the sun today as I was building a fence. So, go figure. But yeah, that of course happened. The Tigers re-signed Adem Yze for 2 years, taking his contract all the way until 2028. This is great news for a lot of different reasons. I think everyone and their dad can agree we all had our doubts on Adem Yze after the first season. After all, it wasn't even that bad of a list, but when you overall look at the factors of everything that was going on, you had a bunch of blokes who didn't really want to be there anymore. They were stuck with having like Dimmer as their coach in their mind. It didn't work out, and we also had a ton of guys that were injured that year as well, which is overall just a recipe for disaster. But in 2025, they drafted 8 new players for Adem Yze. 8 new players that can officially call Adem Yze their coach and know that he's the man and not have Dimmer in their mind anymore, anything like that. They got rid of the players who didn't want to be there, and it ended up being and showing that Yze has a lot of really good traits as a coach, and the Tigers ended up able, to win 5 games for the year, 5 really good games, and honestly didn't even look that bad in a lot of others. And it really showed Yze's growth as a coach and his ability, I think, to be able to develop a lot of these younger players, but also the ability to, I think, show what some of his system actually is. With Tim Taranto and Jacob Hopper in the midfield this year, we got to see a little bit more of what Adem Yze's midfield system actually is, and the midfield that he coached, which won a premiership in 2021 under Melbourne. We got to see that system a little bit more this year. We still had probably the second or third worst midfield in the game, but at least it wasn't the worst midfield like it was pretty much in 2024. And it showed some signs. As more and more players come into that, like a Josh Smiley, Sam Lawler, Taj Houghton, Sam Grill, of course, Sam Cumming, etc. I think we're going to see overall a lot more dynamic under Adem Yze and how that officially looks. It's also like as well, Adem Yze is a really good guy, and I honestly think you kind of need that when developing younger players. I think young players, especially those who are 18 and 21, it doesn't really serve them to be yelled at. I think yelling at a group can be a good thing. It's not like it can be a bad thing. I'm not going to be a modern day, I think, guy who says that all yelling and all of that should be completely taken out of the game and saying that it doesn't work, giving a player a spray doesn't work. But I'm also not going to be a traditionalist who says that giving sprays full time and being just an overall dickhead is a great thing. I sit in the middle where you got to be a friendly coach, but you also got to be a disciplined coach. And I think Adem Yze was much too friendly in his first year to a lot of the older players. But in terms of this year, I think in 2025, we saw him be friendly to the younger players, which I think is going to help them develop. But it felt like Yze was a little bit more disciplinary, I think is probably the right word to it. Like, you would see Adem Yze, you cut to him in the first year, watching us getting pumped, and this dude's just smiling in the box. This year, it was a lot different. And I think it just showed what he does have in him. But it's not like this guy is an asshole, and that's a really good thing, and it's what you need in a modern day coach. You need a great guy who can connect well with the young blokes, and you need a guy who's not going to yell at the young blokes for making mistakes and just being overall tosser to them, because that's not going to help them develop. A lot of you guys who are watching this video, have probably been in a situation where you're young or whatever it is you might still be, have had a coach yell at you and give you a spray over just some bullshit that isn't going to help you develop or anything like that. Adem Yze, I think he is, in a way, a coach that can get along with the youth, like we've seen, get along with the younger boys going on there. But he's starting to show some more disciplinary signs, which can also be a good thing, which he didn't have in his first year. So he's also developing as a head coach. Like, we got to remember, with every year this guy has as a head coach, he's going to get better. And every year he has as a head coach, he's going to build more trust and overall make a group better. And that's what's happening at Richmond right now. And I think we still got to remember, like, it's only his third year, and he's got a pick 7 and 8 coming in, who are going to hopefully be at Tigerland for the next 10 to 15 years. And he's hopefully going to be coaching them for the next 10 years, you know? Like, it's such a long path and such a long way. And that's a great reason they've really given Yze the trust here. They've got him for 2026, 2027, 2028 now. And I think that's enough time, 3 years, for Adem to prove his worth and eventually climb this team year by year. Like, I'm not expecting the Tigers to be anything but a bottom 2 team next year as a massive Richmond fan. But after next year, I do expect growth and to eventually, hopefully, move up like 3 ladder positions every year. Like, that's what you're kind of hoping for. Especially in a guy who by 2027, it will be his, you know, it'll basically be his 4th year. So that's what you want. I think this was a good idea by Richmond. It was a smart move. And I'm interested to see how the Tigers go on to Adem Yze. I think it hopefully should be good. I have a lot of trust and a lot of faith in him. Do I think he's as good as a coach as Damien Hardwick? I mean, he's nowhere near it. But is he as good of a coach as maybe 3rd year Damien Hardwick? Well, probably, yeah. So we gotta really remember that. It takes time for these coaches to develop, and takes time for these coaches to get a group to be at where we hopefully want them to be. So, of course, that happened. Adem Yze re-signed for another 2 years after next year. We also got our new Guernsey numbers. We got Sam Cumming wearing the 22. Bro actually looks massive. Like, pause. You know, you don't.
What did he say?
Weird to say that about a bloke, but he's looking massive here, and you didn't realize how big he actually is when we drafted him. Sam Grill here at number 24 as well. So he's got Taj Houghton's number. Sam Cumming has number 22, which is Sam Lawler's old number. We also got Zane Piker here wearing the number 26, which was Jonty Fall's number. I don't know why. I think it was Collier Dawkins who wore the 26 before Jonty Fall. So we got Zane Piker wearing this number as well. And now Noah Roberts-Thompson wearing the 27, which was Thompson Dow's old number. I mean, hopefully he has a better career in the yellow black than what Thompson Dow did. And then at 33, taking on the premiership number, the 2-time premiership player, Camden McIntosh, we got Patrick Rechko, which is really cool because Patrick Rechko as well is another wing, very similar position, if not the exact same position of what Camden McIntosh has played for the majority of his career as well. So I love these numbers. They're really cool. I'm very excited to see a lot of these guys play, and we get to see them obviously play under Adem Yze now for another 3 years or so. 3 years guaranteed. So that's going to be a really awesome thing. I'm very excited to see how that does happen. Again, I do have another draft video about Richmond coming out pretty soon, I believe, after this one, talking about hopefully some of the train-on guys they've got going on. So stay tuned for that. But still a ton more draft videos coming. The draft was so massive. Like, I've got so much to review about it, and I've got other plans of content I want to make. I want to make a way too early 2025 AFL ladder prediction with Ty, and then maybe do another ladder prediction. But that's hopefully going to be coming very soon as well. I've got so many more video ideas, so stay tuned for all of that. But if you haven't already, please make sure to leave a like on this video to let me know you, of course, enjoy it. Subscribe to the channel for all latest AFL content and AFL news. Go and subscribe to my gaming/movie channel if you haven't already. I'd very much appreciate it if you guys went and checked that out. Will be linked down below. But also go give me a follow on Instagram if you haven't already as well. Also linked in the description down below. But yeah, as I was saying, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.